Hi everyone! Today we're going to be discussing mermaids in Russian and Ukrainian folklore.
Okay, so these mermaids are known as rusalki or rusalka. There are a few different variations as to how this tale arose. One of the variations is sometimes these women are murdered. They're either murdered or betrayed by a partner or a husband, and therefore they reincarnate as these mermaids known as rusalki. Another variation has to do with any singular body of water. If a woman is drowned or murdered in a body of water, she once again reincarnates as a rusalka. A lot of these women also committed murder out of wedlock.
Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about the mermaids in Ukrainian fairy tales, which have a few small differences from the Russian ones. But Slavic mermaids all share the same term for their tales, which is the rusalka rusalki. The Ukrainian rusalka are actually very similar to sirens in the sense that they use their voice to actually kill and slay their victims. The Ukrainian rusalki are typically displayed as youthful and attractive. They are portrayed with long, unkept, and unruly hair to signify the fact that they were not a bride, because typically when you're at a wedding and you're around a bride, her hair is very nice and kept and put up. She has pale skin and piercing green eyes. And one very dangerous thing about the Rusalka women are that they're able to shapeshift to be more appealing to their victims, more appealing women to their victims.
So, the mermaids depicted in the Russian fairy tales, the legends tell that they have infinite lives with limitations. So, these mermaids, they're on the land and they have to be on earth, but in the water until they live out their time or they avenge their death. The Russian Razorka, they're very slim with large breasts, they're pale skin, they have long and loose hair along like the Ukrainian mermaids, but their hair can be seen as green, golden, or light brown. Their eyes do not have pupils because they can be seen as white or when they're angry, green. They have legs, unlike the other mermaids that are typically seen. They do get to walk on land. And they can shapeshift into different creatures such as squirrels, birds, or fish. Okay, so there is an honorary week during summer, usually the first week of June, as Russia and Ukraine honor these mermaids. Up until about the 1930s, this honorary presentation still went on. So during Rusalka week, the Rusalki come out of the water and they actually dance on land. They dance, they sing, they swing in the willow trees, and it's basically a celebration and enjoyment for them. At the end of this week, the nearing towns and villages try and do a ceremonial burial. It's more of a gift to the Rusalki as well, so that they can warn them off and not come back for the rest of the year. Anyone who lives in these towns and villages is aware to not go anywhere near the water during this week, as it is seen as very deadly and very dangerous for all people.
All right, so here are some dangers of the Rusalki. The beginning of June is when the Rusalki are typically the most dangerous. Many people are advised not to swim and are very swim to scared during this time, so you won't see a lot of people in waters and rivers. They're not like the normal mermaids that are depicted in tales, like Ariel. This isn't the Little Mermaid. They pull individuals actually under the water and they do kill them, so they're extremely deadly. In most stories, Rusalki only target men, but in some former pagan tales, they actually do target some women and children because there's a common theme around Rusalki with the idea of being a bride and not a bride and also having kids. So it would make sense that they do actually harm some women and children.
So the Rizolka on land. A Rizolki on land is displayed as a very beautiful young girl, but this is how people get fooled into coming into the water and playing with them. They're very threatening towards humans. They can lure a man with the sound of their voice. Those are the Ukrainian version of the mermaid, but the Russian version actually uses their laugh to kill them. She would also tickle him to death or even drown him. Most of them would prefer to tickle instead of grab. The protection from the Rizolki, the men wear an amulet. Just slide it. Yeah. Okay, so what you see on the right is what you imagine when you think mermaid or Ariel. Like she looks like Ariel with the hair, with the shell bra in the sea. That is not what Rusalki looked like at all. We wanted to show these two images to depict on the left what you see is more closely in relation to what we are discussing in these fairy tales. On the right, you see a seawater mermaid. On the left, as we mentioned prior, our Rusalki only live in lakes and water marshes and freshwater. So on the left, you can kind of see that her hair has a greener tint to it. This is because, as again we mentioned earlier, because of the water. The sea algae, the water moss, it changes the color in her skin as well as her hair. On the right, you see she is very pale. You see that she has no coloration in her whatsoever, and that she even has a full face of makeup on in this photo. Around the 19th century, the vision and depiction of these Rusalki changed. Originally, they were said to be beautiful women. They had this allure to them. Their mysteriousness is what made them so interesting. Like I said, during the 1900s, this changes with all these poets and writers, and a bunch of scripts were actually made in regards to Rusalki. The idea of them changes. They become meaner. They give a villain sense, per se. And so because of this differentiation, there isn't really that much good information on what a rusalka is and what a mermaid is. But thanks to our presentation, we hope that we gave you a better look into what a rusalka actually is, and now it is easier to differentiate between a mermaid and a Russian-Ukrainian mermaid.
Here are our citations.
Thank you for
Thank
watching.
you for watching.
Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Hopefully you liked it.